The Lakers won. The Lakers are your 2020 champions. LeBron got his 4th ring and solidified his place as a top 3 player of all time. AD got his first, but this isn't about individual accomplishments. Well, at least that's not the focus. The Lakers are not the typical makeup of a modern day championship team apart from, well, having a bunch of superstars. And by a bunch, I mean 2. You see, championship teams have a way of influencing the league. Teams take elements that they like, that they think they can replicate. Dynasties, however, they can change how the whole league works. We saw the Spurs inspire a ball movement, the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics started the Big 3 era where teams need 3 stars. And then came the Warriors. It had been 5 years of us seeing one type of offense and defense dominate the NBA. We had the rise of Stephen Curry, that unanimous MVP season where we literally saw him do things that we just hadn't seen before on a day-to-day basis. And when they ran through the league and won a championship, made the finals, the rest of the league followed and got frustrated because they really couldn't do anything. We saw an increase in threes, off dribble threes, deep threes. We saw more teams opt to run small ball lineups, smaller centers that were faster that could handle and shoot the 3. We saw it with the reduction of 2 big man lineups. It went from 58.8% minutes league-wide to just 6.4% in the 2018-2019 season. Dwight Howard wasn't even on the roster or wanted despite averaging 17 and 13 in his last full season.
That's tough.
And here are the 2020 Lakers, a weird collection of players and lineups when looking at the recent NBA. They took a chance on Dwight, and we had Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard in the starting lineup. 2 big men, one of which can't space the floor at all. Not only that, but the Lakers didn't need to take the most threes. They did most of their damage from right inside the paint. But even this isn't typical of a LeBron James-led team. What is up, dudes, to that Ballers players? It's your boy MJ. The Lakers won. Wow. My team won! Alright, sub up for the content, hit noties, helps the channel out a lot. Thanks. So LeBron teams always have as many shooters as possible. AD shot 33% from 3 last season and this season. The Lakers have Rondo, Dwight, and JaVale, really not helping the spacing. The makeup of this team wasn't knockdown shooters. Danny Green is legit shooting 23% from 3, and the Lakers won. People were worried about Legion returning like those 2018 Cavs when the Cavs traded pretty much everyone, but that didn't happen. Versatility not in players but in lineups was also a tool. Just look at teams, the idea of small ball. Draymond was the center for the Warriors' most deadly runs and he's only 6'7". And just like that, the big man position was in danger because at that point, we'd already seen small forwards shift to power forwards. LeBron on the Miami Heat, Melo on the Knicks. This was the final domino towards positionless basketball. At the same time, we had the analytics era boom that supported the 3-point shot, did not like big men, and hated mid-range shots. And once again, big men were on the hot seat because they couldn't really space the floor, they weren't really taking mid-ranges, they were banging inside, taking layups, and it just did not fit the mold. Let's look at the Lakers analytics-wise. They have the highest percentage of their points in the paint in the playoffs at 43%. Compare that to a Rockets team that is at 34.7%, or the Heat who are at 36.4%. The Lakers are also second to last in points coming from 3, only ahead of the Sixers, who are the Sixers. The Warriors would run teams off the floor if they tried to use a big man. The death lineup outscored opponents by 47 points per 100 possessions. It was dominant, and we just had seen it before, especially after seeing forwards and bigs being the MVPs of this league. This was the first point guard driven team that was successful since Isaiah Thomas Pistons in the 90s. We can also count Allen Iverson, but he did not win a chip. So we had teams in the last few years try to build a championship team with the point guard as the focus, like the Celtics with Kyrie. Although that didn't work because of a lot of other reasons. That was tough. We've seen teams trying to emulate Warriors basketball with different pieces. We all know the main example, the Rockets. The epitome of small ball, no guy over 6'7", shooters all around, and then Westbrook, cause Westbrook can't shoot. And look at what happened to them this playoffs. The Lakers killed them on the inside. but they were able to also hang with them defensively and the Rockets' high-octane offense. Did the Lakers go a bit smaller? Yeah, they went with one big man instead of two, but that still kept a massive size advantage, and that's what gave them the edge. No one was able to guard Anthony Davis. Yeah, PJ Tucker tried, and he did his best job, but got owned, man. The Lakers averaged 13 more rebounds, shot 51% from the field, and kept the Rockets to 44% from the field. Bully ball prevailed over spread three-point shooting. Yeah, the Rockets took advantage of AD on the perimeter, but AD is also one of those demigods we talk about in the NBA. The demigod experiment has been a notion in the NBA for years. Throughout the years, we went from two shooters on the court to finding big men that can shoot, to then finding big men that can shoot and switch onto the perimeter to guard guards, to then finding big men who can create their own shot. We've had exceptions throughout the process that were ahead of their time. Dirk Nowitzki was definitely one of them, and then Durant is a definition of a guard skill set in a 7-footer frame. But this has really taken off since Porzingis and Karl-Anthony Towns were drafted. Joel Embiid was also sort of put into this mold, and since then, that's what NBA teams are looking for. But we took a detour for Curry's three-point revolution, where it was all about three-point shooting, ball movement, shooting off the dribble, and this was sort of put in the background. Now Anthony Davis is bringing that back again. The idea of a do-it-all player capable of guarding 1 through 5, being a tall, big man, having length and size, being a threat from everywhere on the court, too fast for a normal big man, too big for a forward. We saw Anthony Davis guard Jimmy Butler. We saw him be too big for the Rockets, and we saw him be too quick for most big men that could guard him in the Nuggets series. Giannis hasn't taken his team to the promised land, not yet. AD did on the biggest stage, so I'm gonna give him credit for bringing this movement back. Along with the demigod experiment came the tall point guard wave. Big, tall point guards that were lanky. Heck, LeBron is a taller point guard. Positionless basketball, right? But the Lakers have traditional basketball positions. Rondo is the traditional point guard that runs an offense, not necessarily a shot creator. He runs your offense and he makes a lot of passes. Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee are traditional big men. They will bang, grab boards, protect the rim, and can't shoot. Anthony Davis is the power forward center combo. The Lakers have positions that are actually followed and not just a loose guideline. This reminds me of a 2010 Lakers team with Kobe, who was the 2-guard with a dedicated point guard in Derek Fisher, a true small forward in Ron Artest, Pau Gasol who played the 4, that had a mid-range post game, and Bynum who was the typical 5 that could bang. The Lakers are bringing back positions and big men that you can run a 2 big man lineup and not be run off the floor. Dwight made his value felt alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron, which should make sense since he can't space a floor that well. Rajon Rondo was the point guard for the Lakers during their crunch time, and that made a big difference. That being said, of course, this is unique to the Lakers. Anthony Davis is an anomaly. LeBron is a freak of nature. But then again, so were the Warriors. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. Draymond Green is a defensive player of the year that could play make while guarding big men. Klay Thompson is a top 5 shooter of all time that dropped 37 in a quarter and a lockdown defender. Plus, the Warriors had some really good role players. But that didn't stop teams from trying with different pieces, or for looking at similar pieces like a shot creating point guard with 3-and-D wings with a do-it-all forward. That's what's gonna happen with the Lakers. The era of big threes is over. It's about duos, but now these duos don't have to be typical space 3-point shooting forwards. It's about playing to your natural strengths, and it doesn't need to fit this mold of 3-point shooting. It could be big men, it could be 3-point shooting, it's whatever you want. The main thing is having pieces that can fit and sticking to a playstyle. So yeah, the Lakers are literally changing the NBA again. The NBA is cyclical, and so we see different types of players dominate. It went from bigs in the 60s to guards in the 90s to big men and guards in the 2000s to forwards and guards in the 2010s to now big men again with forwards. Next year is going to be interesting. The Warriors come back, the Clippers run it back, we have the continued improvement of Anthony Davis, Giannis, and Luka, and we'll have LeBron running it back, chasing greatness. But yeah, the Lakers are your 2020 champions. They're changing basketball again, and to be honest, it's kind of refreshing to see because we don't need to see more 3-point shooting necessarily. We're just seeing players play to their strengths, and that's fun to watch. The NBA is exciting to watch when we have a bunch of different play styles, and it looks like we're getting that. Shout out to channel OG Helen John for being first. She's been there since the beginning. If you like the vid, hit the like button, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new or you've been watching for a minute. It's your boy MJ. We out and we vibing. Yo, the Lakers really won. Bro, my team really won. Look, I'm a Lakers and Knicks fan. Y'all should know why Lakers, but the Lakers really won. What? Bro, what? Well, this is a crazy time we're living in, but the Lakers 2020. Alright, that's enough of me. We out and we vibing.
Okay, just stop in my spaceship now.